Washington, D.C., and we're bringing you the best of the show. It just so happens that our neighbors here, first time we got a booth, but our neighbors are into their own fandom and keeping it alive, just like we are with our Battlestar Galactica. But this is another show that we also enjoy. It just happens to be X-Files. And you guys, ladies, welcome to IFB. And you worked out a Fan X retrospective, which is more or less the dream that every fan has for their, beloved show. We have a trailer for it. We have a small trailer that you guys put together. So let's cut to the trailer and then come back and talk about it. All right.
Thank you.
My husband and I met in '93. That was our Friday night date night. And now we've been married for 20 years. And we have a daughter named Jillian.
I would never have met my husband if not for the X-Files. I would never have met, all my friends that I have.
My son is named Fox.
That's been my constant, my touchstone. I don't know where I would be without it.
And that's given me hope. Even when I can't find hope in other places, it's really put a lot of light in my life.
It has so enriched my life and my friendships and just the way I see the world.
Yeah, it's been really good, making friends around the world and just, sharing that love of a show that we all love.
But I don't think they have any real idea how life-changing this franchise and this fandom has been for so many people.
I had stories to tell, and I'd done creative writing in college and gotten a lot of really good feedback. And I met my wife, who was a screenwriter, and she asked me if I had any stories to tell. And I said I happen to have a story to tell.
And we said, well, what is this show? I mean, is it aliens every week? He said, and then he came back and said, no, I think it could be anything that is an X-File. What is an X-File?
About taking things that people believed to be true but probably weren't, but said, let's suppose they were true. I mean, let's suppose that aliens are among us. Let's suppose that people were abducted by aliens. Let's suppose that astrology works, or let's suppose all of these things. And what happens? What does that mean? And so all of that was, I think, particular to the zeitgeist of the 90s.
I can tell you, having worked on a lot of shows prior to the X-Files and worked on a lot of shows after the X-Files, that I knew that this was way different and very special.
So the trailer that we just put up, it has, I know the Smoking Man's in it, and there's some fans in it, and you guys, I want you to tell your story, because it's exactly what we believe in, that fans fuel the fleet. So do us a favor, introduce yourselves properly, tell us a little bit about this project that you undertook, and where'd you start from, and the other thing is, we're going to get to a backstory on how you guys got back together. You guys were friends, sort of, kind of, back in the day, very much like what Chris and I experienced. So there's a parallel, and I know the fans like this kind of stuff, especially ours. So there you go. There's your setup.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We're so happy to be here, and it's amazing. It's our first time at Awesomecon, and my name's Lauren Kradiger, and this is my production partner, Carly Blake. And we have been working on the X-Files fan retrospective for nearly 5 years. And the X-Files was our show growing up, and we didn't know one another growing up, but it was our show, had a profound impact on our life. It inspired us to study TV and production in college, and it just really had a positive impact on our lives. And when we got back together, as you said, as we started hanging out in 2018, we had met other X-Files fans that said, oh, well, this show has helped me battle addiction. The show has helped me when my parent had passed away. The show had helped me when I didn't have any friends of my own, or if I moved to a new city, I'd put on an episode of the X-Files, and it was very comforting to me. and I can relate to the characters, and I can go into science and study STEM and become a medical doctor like Agent Scully. And the more stories we heard about this, the more we felt inspired to share this positive impact that this television show has had on its fans worldwide, and that's what we set out to do.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. I mean, it was just kind of a weird thing that we were acquaintances in high school, if you will, and we were a different year, and we would kind of pass each other in the hallway, and we just knew that the other liked the show, and it was something that we had connected over. And like Lauren said, in 2018, I was posting on Facebook about something that was going on. I said, "Hey, where's my X-Files fans? Is anybody out there wants to go to this event?" And Lauren responded, and we kind of started very small, like Lauren said, interviewing other fans, and then there were people that were really interested in it, and then all of a sudden actors wanted to be involved, and it was crazy. One said yes, then another.
Wow.
And then COVID hit, and everybody was home.
Yes.
And everybody wanted to talk.
Oh, that is so cool.
So.
It was great. We had the choice. When the world shut down, we said, do we scrap the project or don't give up? So as X-Files fans, we didn't give up, and we reached out to people, and everyone was home. We were hunkered down, and as a result, we traded the perfect shot and the perfect sound that we were hoping for as filmmakers as intimate discussions at the mercy of everyone's laptop. So we've got Zoom interviews with people from their living room. Gillian Anderson is laying on her couch.
Oh,
the first time we interviewed Chris Carter, the creator of The X-Files, he's on his patio. His dogs are barking outside. And like I said, it's a different type of interview, but it's definitely felt more personal. And, when you're under the lights and you've got multiple cameras in your face, you might be a little more guarded. But what Carly and I have created is a more intimate look at those who created The X-Files, and not just the stars that you see at Comic-Con, but everyone from wardrobe, graphic designers, art directors, stage production, as well as producers, directors,
writers.
Just
and you wrap this kind of up into a more or less a documentary.
Correct.
It is. We call it a fan retrospective, but it's really a documentary, and it's broken down into several different segments that really jumped out, such as the legacy of the show, the Scully effect, which has become a phenomenon throughout the world that many don't know about. It didn't even have a name.
Wow.
But basically, in the late 90s, all these women were going into STEM, medicine, FBI, different areas like that because of Scully.
Wow.
And it didn't have, and somebody coined the name, and that was it. But we interviewed a woman named Ann Simon, Dr. Ann Simon, who actually works at University of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a connection with the show. She was the science advisor on the show.
Oh, wow.
And she actually took did a course right around the time she started working on the show. And she says, teaching a course. And she said, well, how many are you here because of the X-Files? She said the majority of the kids raised their hands.
Yes.
And so it's interesting because the fans know that I am a big fan of Carl Kolchak, the Night Stalker, who was, of course, an influence and inspiration for X-Files. And Kolchak's time, the show influenced a lot of people to write and become, just to seek out the journalism. And that was kind of something that I always wanted to do. And I did that because of him. And so here we are, keeping the fandom alive. Where can we see this project of yours, the FanX Retrospective? Is it out there?
Absolutely. The X-Files Fan Retrospective lives on our website, thexfiles25.com. We have a strong social media presence as well. And while everyone was waiting for us to do this documentary that's been nearly 5 years in the making, we decided to do rough cut interviews and put them all up on our YouTube channel. So there's about 70 interviews right now. We're almost at 100 interviews.
Wow.
So while we are editing the doc, we're also putting the rough cuts on our YouTube channels for people to enjoy. And I have to share with you the numbers that our website gets and the views that our channel gets is really amazing, because this show is nearly 30 years old.
Wow.
And people just keep coming back to it. They love the new content. They love the new interviews. Every time we have an interview with someone, we do go on socials and say, hey, we're speaking with Laurie Holden today. What do you want to know about her character? Or, hey, we're speaking with Bill Davis, who we recently did a virtual chat with for free online, just to make it more accessible to the fans who are looking to connect with other people and within the fandom. It's just been an amazing project, and we can't wait to see where it goes next.
But what's been great about that is also the talent has interacted. So when Lauren posted about Lori Holden jumped in and started answering questions on Twitter and on Instagram and was like, "Oh, I'm so looking forward to doing this." And as Lauren said, we did that, that event with Bill Davis, and they enjoy being part of the fandom. They know what it is.
Oh, that's special.
And Lori Holden's been part of Walking Dead and other fandoms, and the boys, and she knows fandoms, but she's appreciative of the X-Files as it started her career, and all the other ones. I mean, Nick Lee, Bill Davis, Mitch Pileggi, they all are so appreciative of the fandom and are willing to interact with the fans, which really is what it's all about. That's what we all love.
It is, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring for all the other fandoms, all the other shows that we love, and we definitely want you guys to come back.
Awesome.
And we'll do, like a follow-up on the show, right?
Would be honored.
And we want to know more about, how the intricacies of putting it together, because we do that on our show. We invite. We have a strong connection with Battlestar Galactica, another classic show that's, over 40 years old. And so there's a lot of parallels. So I think we definitely should have a part 2 to this.
Sure.
And we'll talk more X-Files. We'll talk more about the fandom. Thank you so much for taking the time out. We're lucky the booths are really, we're neighbors, so you don't have to go far. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to do it. So thank you for taking the time out. We are big fans of X-Files and fans of yours now. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you
for having us.
Interfleet Broadcasting told you we'd bring you the best, and we are. So stay tuned because we're going to have more after this. So for now,